We're back on Guy Darson's show. Before commercial, we talk about Leo chase the mouse. Oh, your cat chased the mouse. Computer mouse.
Well, I tell people that our cat is a computer expert because she's really quick on the mouse.
Oh, yes. Okay, what else? What's the news story?
Well, I have a cat. Her name is Princess Taylor. And we tell little kids that she is the princess of all the cats because her father's a lion and her mother's a panther. Since she's the daughter of the king of all the beasts, well, naturally that makes her the princess of all the cats, so all the other cats have to bow down to her. The first little girl I told this to was about 3 1/2, and they had 2 cats. So after I told her the story, the girl was very excited. When her mother came home, she ran over and said, Mommy, I saw the princess of all the cats. Her father's a lion, her mother's a panther, all the other cats have to bow down to her. And her mother's like, huh? What? Where'd you get all that? I said, well, it's not that surprising. After all, it's not every day that you get to see the princess of all the cats. And the woman says, oh, that is such a cute story. She says, did you tell that to your little girl? That's when I had to explain to her, well, my wife said I can't have any kids because I still am one.
That's a good one. Mm-hmm. So do you know cat's language? That's how you communicate with your cat so well?
Well, no, what it is I have to say that, cats apparently think they're psychic.
They think they're psychic.
Yeah, they think they're psychic, and then they simply communicate their will by staring at you. Cats are very good at staring competitions.
So do your cats get that kind of insight from you?
No, I think that it's the other way around. We actually, take orders from our cats. If you ever saw the movie The Cat from Outer Space, it's an old Disney film based on a book, and it explains that you take orders from your cat.
So, by the way, talking about your computer business, Harton, right? Harton
yes,
Computers.
Harton Computers, yep.
So, what is the new challenges about the computer business?
Well, one of the very important things that people have to realize is they need to back up.
Need to back up, okay.
Yeah, my father unfortunately did not back up his computer properly. When his hard drive failed, we had to send it out for data recovery. With my discounts and some other discounts because it was a day late, it was over $3,000 to recover the data on his computer.
Back to how many years ago?
Well, all the data.
Before
for some years. But it was very expensive because they had to microscopically re-engineer the hard drive. It's a solid-state drive. They had to do it under a microscope. So it was a very involved process. So it's very important to have backup. You want to have preferably some kind of a local backup, like a USB backup, so it's quick to recover your data. And you also would like to have some off-site backup in the event of a catastrophe, such as a house or business burning down or getting flooded.
How about the iCloud automatic?
Something like the iCloud counts as an off-site backup. Similarly, Microsoft OneDrive, companies like Mozy or Carbonite also provide that type of service.
So what is the direction of the computer business? How you see the vision?
For years and years, computers were getting faster. Every couple of years, the speed would approximately double. We've kind of reached the end of that particular chain. So what they're doing now is they're making computers faster in other ways. For example, they have new solid-state drives that perform much faster than your standard rotating hard drives. And on top of that, they now have a new second-generation solid-state drive called M.2 NVMe, which is another 3 to 4 times faster than even the solid-state drives, which were already themselves some 5 to 10 times faster than the older rotating drives. So you now have machines that can boot up to a desktop in like 5 seconds. That's dramatically faster than what you're probably used to.
So how you see the Microsoft and the Apple product? Is there a major competition going on between which is your favorite?
Well, they don't seem to really target the same audience. Apple has certain niches that Microsoft doesn't really focus on specifically. Microsoft makes their product available very broadly, generally not so much for individual specific purposes the way that Apple seems to have taken over. For example, publishing. Products from Adobe are available on both Microsoft and Apple hardware, and yet you see a lot of people do magazine and newspaper production on Apple, just because they have a very nice interface for doing that, and it's designed significantly toward that end.
So, do you have some design part of your business, or mainly you said it's like a backup for the information?
Well, yeah,
other services.
Yeah, I also custom build computers and servers, both for individuals and business use. Small companies would use a server if they need to separate the data and who has access to it. For example, if you have an accounting department, they will have access to the QuickBooks folder, which has the data for the accounting, but only the people who do the accounting need that access. So people who are in other divisions don't need access, they don't have access. Using a server, it allows you to partition on a very fine grain who has access to which files and which folders.
So how about Carissa? You have any questions about your computer to our expert Leo here?
I do. What if you had someone, back in the day, this is like a deep, dark, guilty confession. I used to play World of Warcraft.
I still do.
Dark confession.
Not surprised. It's very addicting. It's very addicting. It's a fun game, but it's very addicting. I would like to ask you, what would be your dream computer for playing a game like that? Because it is very, graphics intensive.
Right.
And yeah.
Well, you don't actually need the highest end machine for game playing.
Oh.
You need an actually much higher end machine if you do video editing, for example. So with something like World of Warcraft, it'll run fine even on old spinning drives, just fine.
Yeah.
But what you need a better quality video card. And to pair that with something like an i5 4th generation is perfectly adequate for typical games. Going to things like i7s doesn't really buy you that much extra capability unless you're doing much more CPU intensive work such as video editing. Game playing mostly relies on the quality of your graphics processor. And you can actually buy graphics processor based video cards that I've seen some that are on sale for a mere $4,000. And what they do with those is they don't actually play video games on them. They have special motherboards that handle up to 4 of these video cards together, and they use them for processing high-speed trading on the stock market.
Wow.
They have special software that they run in the graphics processor to perform those calculations, and they use it for that purpose. Of course, you're going to buy a $20,000 computer, you're probably going to try and use it to make some money.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
real-time data.
Yeah, as opposed to, a video editing machine with the new M.2 NVMe solid-state drives that are even faster is a ballpark $2,000 machine, but it doesn't require the highest-end, graphics card. You're not, even doing video editing, you're going to benefit from it somewhat, but it depends on exactly the mix of what you're doing.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
But, you compare that, with a typical lower-end machine. I have many customers that are interested in computers in the $300 to $600 range, which still gives you a significant, range of how fast the machine is. But the video card is really what makes or breaks your gaming environment. If you want to do things like have better textures, you want more realistic rainfall in the game and so on, you're going to have to spend a lot more money for a video card. You could spend $400 just for the video card alone in a system that's dedicated to gaming and still have room for improvement.
Okay, let's take a quick commercial break right now. Then when we come back, we talk about Chinese English translator, the best version.
Yay.